What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to take another look at the Pestilence Scourge event. We are going to take a look how can you score 1.5 million points as fast as possible, and this is going to be the best for like veteran players. If you already have Morgan Le Fay at 7 yellow stars, you still need 1.5 million points in order to get all the milestones. So that's what exactly we're going to take a look at, just to refresh our memories. We are going to do this on difficulty 8, and we are going to take a look at the Scourges that I recommend in order to do this as fast as possible. And as always, if you like the information on this video, make sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure to smash that like button. Okay, so let's get started. Before we start, I just want to ask if you guys have any kinds of requests to use on the Scourge events, let me know. It's a little bit hard to do like new player or free-to-player guides because I'm not at that point in the game, but you guys can request something on my Discord. The link will be in the description or in the comments below. Let's take a look at the Scourges that we are going to use. We are going to play on difficulty 8. This is to have the best range of the points that we are going to get, and also the difficulty that we are going to use as well. Okay, so now in terms of the Scourge, I'm going to use some Scourges that are a little bit dangerous, but I will explain why after. Okay, so we are going to use this one for offense up, we are going to use this one for ability block. This one we are not going to use. When a player uses ultimate abilities, all enemies gain energy. Okay, that's fine. We're going to skip that with the trauma. With the blind, we are also going to skip. We are going to use this one. Whenever a character blocks, they get stunned, because we are going to avoid using characters that block. Whenever we get energy, we get defense down. Okay, that's cool. Reduce player healing. Death proof when characters drop below 50% health. And you can see that we are already at 1.541,000. Okay, so that's going to be our goal. The Scourges that we are going to use will revolve around the enemies getting energy, and we are going to exploit that situation. We are going to exploit the enemies getting energy, because that means we always know they are going to do the ultimate, and certain characters, their ultimate are worse than their special, like is the case with the Phoenix. On top of that, we have other Scourges here that don't do anything special. This one can be a little bit dangerous for some people. If your characters are not as big as mine, this one might be dangerous because the enemies will have offense up on their turn. So high risk, high reward, but if you want to do this fast, these are the Scourges I recommend. Difficulty 8, 100 Scourges, and you are going to get easy mode 1.5 million points. You can reduce some of the Scourges. You can put instead like the Scourge that gives HP. That might be a little bit easier if you don't want to use this situation of high risk, high chance reward, but I think overall this one is going to be fine. Okay, so let's take a look at my run and see how well it went and which were the characters that used it in order to take advantage of these specific Scourges. Okay, so on the first node you can take hero characters. Now I would tell you to use maybe Young Avengers, and this is because they are a Scourge team, so you can use them on the Pestilence event, and you can also use them on the Famine event. Other option would be the Bionic Avengers. They should be nice on this first node as well, but for this specific situation I used my Uncanny X-Men, and the reason why it's because I want to use them and I want them to die after, so I can use my Web Warriors in order to charge up their cooldowns. Other character that should have his cooldowns charged up is Dr. Voodoo, so make sure that you try or on the hero nodes or on the global nodes to do that. Okay, so you can see right here that even on difficulty 8 and 600,000 power Uncanny X-Men is completely destroying the nodes. So look at that. All those characters got destroyed, then you have to focus on that Merc LT, just to make sure that it doesn't give offense up and speed up for everyone. And then you want to get rid of that, what's his name? The guy in white, what's his name? Shatterstar, yes. Okay, so you get rid of Shatterstar, so whenever Polaris and long shot do their abilities, they don't completely destroy you. So I'm going to use the ultimate of Phoenix. This is my second Phoenix because Magic revived the other one. And now we are going to try to die. We are going to attack as poorly as possible so our characters can get wrecked, and then you can come up with the Web Warriors and use other characters to charge up their energy. Okay, so it worked as I intended. My Uncanny X-Men got destroyed, and now we are going to use the Web Warriors to charge up the cooldowns. For this, I'm going to use Captain America, the OG, and I'm going to use also OG Star-Lord in order to feed energy directly to Spider-Woman and also to Scarlet Spider. And we also need to get some energy on Spider-Punk. So I completely forgot about Dr. Voodoo, but on the other global nodes you should try to charge up Dr. Voodoo. So this is the team that we are going to use. Once again, you want to charge up as fast as possible Ghost Spider. You want to make sure that all the abilities are available, and the same goes for Scarlet Spider. Here in this situation, he was fast enough in order to get energy on his own, so we didn't have to waste too much time, but I think this is a great way to help you with the node number 5. And you'll see a little bit further that the node number 5 was a breeze by just doing this. We didn't even have to use the Dark Hunters, we just had to use the Web Warriors, and it was pretty much a free win. Okay, so we have two enemies. We are going to blind both of them, 100% guaranteed with Star-Lord. And like this, we have Ghost Spider full of energy. So now you just have to get rid of Longshot and then Sabretooth, and we are good to go. We have energy on everyone, so this is going to be extremely easy. Okay, so just basic attacks there. We don't want to waste any of the abilities. It's very tempting to use the abilities, but just save them because they are going to be important on that very, very annoying Node 5. And like this, if you are using this strategy, you spend maybe 1 hour to get these 1.5 million points, and you are done with all the milestones. You get all that juicy gear, and you don't have to worry anymore about the Pestilence event. Now, if you still don't have Morgan Le Fay at 7 yellow stars, this video is still going to apply to you, because most people are not going to try to get the 2 million points or anything like that, because most whales, most veteran players, and the most non-veteran but high spender players, all of them have Morgan Le Fay at 7 yellow stars, so we are not going to compete with them. Getting this score at 1.5 million is going to be the best way for you to save your time and still get a very, very nice amount of shards for Morgan Le Fay. It's late, it's already like, it's almost midnight, and the brain is not computing anymore. Okay, so we are going to use Eternals, Sharon Carter, Shang-Chi and Kestrel on the second node, and the reason why we are using Sharon Carter is to make sure that Shang-Chi has offense up. You'll see right there that Proxima Midnight, she will lose her buffs, but she's going to get them back once again. She gets the speed up, and she gets the deflect and also death proof. So we are going to use all those buffs with Shang-Chi in order to slap the enemies as strong as possible. So now he's going to get offense up from Sharon Carter, and now we are going to slap everyone with Shang-Chi Karate Kid. After that, you want to make sure that you focus on Captain Sam. You have to remember we are using that Scourge that gives offense up to the enemies whenever they have their turn. So if you let Captain Sam to have his turn, he's going to destroy you, so you really don't want to do that. So as you can see, focus on Proxima Midnight, do the ultimate with Shang-Chi, and you're gonna destroy. After that, you want to kind of try to stun Captain Sam, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so here we're gonna play safe. We're gonna try to one-shot him. It's still not working. It's getting a little bit dangerous. He could die with the bleeds, but the bleeds are always inconsistent, especially if the enemies have a lot of armor. I'm still not sure if it's the resistance or the armor that affects the bleeds, but I think it's the armor. Then we apply ability block to Corvus Glaive. You can also do the same for the Shield Trooper there in the middle. And at this point you just want to attack the characters with the defense down and use the passive from Kestrel as much as possible. You also want to slow down a little bit, just get rid of White Tiger, just get rid of Moon Knight. And like this you'll be able to save your cooldowns with the Eternals because you are going to need them on the Cosmic nodes. Okay, so we are doing well so far. Sharon Carter died, that's fine. Shang-Chi is about to die, that's fine as well. This is the only two nodes where you can use Shang-Chi. It's the first node and the second node. Shang-Chi is a great option for both of them. But like I said, it's convenient for us to use a team like Uncanny that will die early in order for you to charge up after the cooldowns with your Web Warriors. Okay, so as you can see, we are going to get 150,000 points 10 times because we are clearing up 10 nodes. And we're also going to get some extra 2000 points from the efficiency. Okay, so now global nodes. We are gonna play this very easily. You can use unlimited X-Men here. You can use Weapon X here. You can use most of the Darkhold here, and with either of them you are going to have a very easy time. You can also use your new Bionic Avengers here. They are also going to be extremely powerful, but I decided to go balls deep and use the most absurd team I could think of. I was not sure if I was going to use Gambit or Agatha Harkness. Both of them were going to be good options. I decided to go with Agatha for the additional healing, but yeah, this node got completely destroyed with these characters. Two Horsemen, Lady Deathstrike, Omega Red, they're almost Horsemen as well, from how powerful they are, and then Agatha Harkness, which is next level character. Okay, so we are going to attack that Psylocke. Characters like Psylocke are the biggest problem here because they remove the negative effects that you apply to the enemies, to yourself, so you want to get rid of that Psylocke as fast as possible. Other characters you want to focus on, of course, is going to be Shang-Chi. Is going to turn and rewind you, and you don't want any of that. And other characters that can be somewhat problematic is, of course, X-23. Beyond that, none of the other characters are problematic. I mean, Miles can be a little bit, but if you are concerned about Miles and the disrupts he applies, you might want to bring Emma Frost, and like this you'll be able to clear all those negative effects away. Or you can even bring Scientist Supreme. We'll make a video where we're using Scientist Supreme, maybe we'll not. I'm not sure if I'm gonna upload that video. We'll see. Okay, so Rogue here, she has the ultimate, she has the special, she has everything. You really want to stun that Colin Wing. She's very annoying on this node. The damage she does and the bleed she applies and the heal block, very problematic, so you want to avoid that as much as possible. But you can see this team is so ridiculous, we are completely destroying everyone. And to be fair, most of my characters are not even level 89 or level 90, like Lady Deathstrike and Omega Red. I really want to finish my raid teams, so after I can focus on these other extremely powerful characters from the Weapon X. Okay, so this node number T, completely destroyed. Once again, you can bring here your Bionic Avengers, you can bring your full unlimited X-Men, you can bring most of the Darkhold, you can bring most of your Weapon X team, so you have a lot of options for the global nodes. Okay, so now we have the second global node. This is the last occasion that we have to use full unlimited, so I decided, why not? Let's use full unlimited against this node. The enemies, all of them are very slow, which is convenient for the unlimited because they are very slow as well. And we still didn't use the special or the ultimate with Rogue, so that's going to be fun to use that big ultimate that does massive amount of damage to everyone. Okay, so here we go. We also have Gambit in the house doing tons and tons of damage. It's going to be lovely, you'll see. And once again, this is a team that you have to gear up for sure, so investing on these characters and using them on the Scourge is going to be extremely beneficial in case you still don't have Morgan Le Fay maxed out. Okay, so we're gonna stop that Black Bolt, and the characters you want to really get rid of is the Karnaks. The Karnaks are extremely problematic. They have this dodge chance, they apply disrupt to your characters. You don't want any of that to happen, so try to get rid of the Karnaks as fast as possible. Sunfire is a great character for that. Look at that, with the Striker ISO 8 applying multiple bleeds and defense downs to those Karnaks. One is gone. We are going after the second now. And the Juggernugget trying to act fun, but Gambit is just destroying. Look at that Gambit, he's just insane. Okay, so double slap on Karnak, he was able to survive, and look at it now. Tons of negative effects and slow because of that goddamn Karnak. Come on, Bran. Okay, so when we have the power armor to drop, you want to apply offense down or ability block to Iron Heart. You want to apply ability block or offense down to her, so she fails her ability block to you. So that's going to be a great way to fix some of the problems. Here we are going to use Sunfire. And I forgot that I have that ability. Whenever you use the special, you get ability blocked, so that was quite lame. I used the special, and then I was not able to use the ultimate. Yikes, so... situation that I completely forgot about it. And yeah, you have to think about this, because if you are using Gambit, you should focus on using his basic rather than his special. Otherwise, you'll always be ability blocked, and you'll not be able to use the ultimate. So you can see right here, I'm forced to use the basic quite often, way more than I wanted because of this specific situation. Either way, Unlimited are extremely powerful and they can easily destroy these enemies. So finally Sunfire goes once again, applies defense down to all the enemies. We flip all those negative effects into positive effects. This is another good reason to use the Unlimited X-Men. Whenever they get energy, then Dazzler is able to flip all those negative effects back in our favor. Okay, so node number 4 completely destroyed with Unlimited. Now we are going to use full Web Warriors on the node number 5, and we are going to use the strategy that we used on the first run ever. The first run ever of Pestilence. We are going to use OG Spider-Man in the middle, and we are going to wait until he dodges the attack of Star-Lord T'Challa. This will allow OG Spider-Man to go first, and then we can apply offense, we can apply slow and defense down to everyone. Then Miles with the Striker ISO 8 is going to do disrupt on everyone, and we are going to remove the taunt from Red Guardian. After the taunt from Red Guardian is gone, you want to use the ultimate from Scarlet Spider on Kitty Pryde. This will destroy her, making sure that she doesn't avoid anymore, and you can see that Bishop got destroyed as well. Now, something that might help you a little bit is to change some of these characters to ISO 8 healer. You can do like Spider-Punk or Scarlet Spider. You just need a little bit of healing just to make sure that your characters are topped off. Here I forgot about that situation, and my characters were a little bit too low for what I intended them to be. So after the first wave is gone, you really want to focus on Cloak. He's the only one that causes problems to you. You want to apply slow to him with a special of Miles, and then you just want to break everyone's face with your basics. The ultimate of Ghost Spider, you should try to save it for later, and the other cooldowns from like Scarlet Spider, Spider-Punk and so on, you should try to save them as well, just to make sure that you have a big burst damage to use on the last node, where you face Uncanny and also Black Order, which are characters very problematic for the Web Warriors. Okay, so this guy is gone, the Ravager Bruiser, and we move on to the next nodes where we can use villains. On villains, once again, we have a lot of options. We have most of the Darkhold, not all of the Darkhold, but most of it. And we have also Dormammu, in case you have him, Doctor Doom. We have, let's see who else we have. We also have Abomination. Abomination is a very fun character. If you have him, you should definitely try it out. And of course we have Weapon X, so why not? A mixture of Darkhold and Weapon X is some of the strongest teams out there, so we are going to use that once again, the same way you use it on Global. Even that the Weapon X is not a Horseman team, is not required to unlock Apocalypse, they are still very useful everywhere in the game, whether it is on Arena, on Dark Dimension 5, 4 and 3, and also on raids, because you can use them to sack nodes because they are so fast. they have turn rewind, they have ability block, and tons of damage and negative effects. So it's still a team that if you are a new player, you should still try to get them, because the value that they provide to you is just huge. Other game modes where they are useful is also Cosmic Crucible and Alliance Wars, of course. Okay, so we are going to use the special of Morgan Le Fay, and with the Strange Supreme we are just gonna slap as many characters as we want, because we have so much damage, we actually don't have to worry about anything, and this is why the reason you should just use these characters. But the characters you should prioritize is definitely going to be Mr. Sinister. You don't want him to clone anyone, especially Omega Red or Morgan Le Fay. If you ignore Mr. Sinister and he clones your Morgan Le Fay, very high chance that you might lose the match. Either way, we are going to slap these characters as fast as possible. We have the turn rewind with Strange Supreme, so we should never be in the situation where Mr. Sinister is cloning. What's his name? Black Bolt got destroyed, and now we have the 2 crystals. We are just going to use basics in order to get our cooldowns as high as possible and get ready for the last node. Okay, so here with Strange Supreme, I saved his ultimate, and this is on purpose because we can use him once again on the Cosmic nodes together with characters like Eternals and Infinity Watch. Let's go. So node number 6 is gone, and you can see right here we are finishing up the milestones as we go. The goal is to get 1.5 million points, and as you can see, it's going so far extremely easy on the difficulty 8. Difficulty 8 to another Scourge, so far so good. And this run overall it took me like 35 minutes, so if your characters are not as big, you might take it like 50 minutes. But overall I think these are good recommendations that you can easily destroy all the nodes. And you don't have to one-shot. This is something I forget to mention, is that you don't have to one-shot the nodes. You can double tap them if you want, or even triple tap it. You lose just a little bit of efficiency points, but from 2000 it's going to be like, it's irrelevant. From 1.5 million, losing 2000 points every now and then on specific nodes is pretty much irrelevant. And even taking into consideration the 2000 points multiplied by 10, it's 20,000, and we are definitely going to get way more than that. Okay, so Morgan Le Fay with a special. This node is a little bit hard, and if you have Morgan Le Fay with Striker Isolate, that's going to be beneficial for you. I still have her with Skirmisher from the arena, but the characters you want to focus on, as always, should be Psylocke, Deadpool, and also Moon Knight. They apply negative effects to you, you don't want any of that. And Deadpool, she even heals whenever she has negative effects. Okay, so Strange Supreme, he had his ultimate charged up, so we are going to use it here. As I mentioned before, you can save it for the Cosmic nodes. It depends on which characters you have stronger, so if your Cosmic characters are not as strong, then you should save his ultimate to use on that specific situation. Okay, so now we have the next wave. We have still Silver Surfer. We need to try to get rid of him, apply some ability block or something like that. And we also have Loki. Loki is a little bit problematic because he makes your characters to attack each other, so you want to get rid of Loki as fast as possible, like we just did. And then try to get rid of that Silver Surfer. First turn is fine, second turn is fine, but when he starts getting way too fast, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Now we lost Lady Deathstrike, that's fine, we don't need her anymore. We already used her on the global nodes and on the villain nodes, so it's fine for now. The next nodes we have is Cosmic and Web Warriors and Dark Hunters, so we have nothing to worry about. Okay, so Negasonic, Omega Red is going to destroy her, and then Cable is going to get destroyed by Morgan Le Fay. And we are done here with this villain node, so extremely easy. Characters you should definitely invest on, and that can get you pretty much a free win without sweating too much. Okay, so let's go for the Cosmic nodes. These ones are going to be extremely fast because we are going to use Eternals. You guys have to remember that Eternals are not as powerful in Scourge and Cosmic Crucible and War as they are in Arena or Dark Dimension, because they lose 50% additional damage. In Arena and Dark Dimension Eternals, they have 50% additional damage, so keep that in mind and don't be shy of bringing all your big guns for this specific match. Now, one easy exploit that you can use here that is going to be extremely helpful is that you can use Thanos. Here in the middle where I have Kestrel, and Thanos is going to give energy to both Eternals whenever any enemy dies. So this is a great exploit for you to make the nodes even easier for you and to make sure that you always have energy to attack the enemies. Okay, so in this first Cosmic node you want to flip that defense up from Omega Red, and from there you just want to do your usual thing, turn rewind the enemies, apply defense down, offense down, whatever you can to them. In this case we are going to apply defense down with the Castle Special, and we want to attack as many characters as possible, so you can use them after to activate the defense down ability. Here we just use the basic, and as you can see, pretty much of the first wave is gone. Now, as I mentioned before, you can use Infinity Watch here and it's still going to be extremely easy. So if you want to save your Eternals and their cooldowns for the next node, which is a little bit harder and more favorable to the Eternals, that's a good option as well. So first node, Infinity Watch, second node, Eternals with whichever characters you have. Okay, so third wave, Hela is gone with her Greg. They can be quite annoying here if you get stuck and you are not able to remove them. And then you have this Lady Deathstrike. You have to get rid of her as fast as possible, and you want to make sure that none of the Weapon X characters are around town whenever Lady Deathstrike or Omega Red or Sabretooth are around, because you are going to increase their damage output, you are going to increase their speed and stats, and you don't want any of that. Okay, so we slap that Drax, and then we have to deal with the Heimdall, but we are pretty much done here. So as you can see, extremely easy. As I mentioned before, if you want to make sure that your Eternals are ready for the second node, use Infinity Watch here instead. But if you have a big Thanos, that's going to be a good option as well. A lot of new, not new players, a lot of players have came back after 1 year or so to the game, so maybe they bought one offer for the Eternals just to unlock them, and they still have a powerful Thanos from the time of the Black Order, and that will be a great addition for you to complete the Scourge event. Okay, so here we go for the last node. In this node, the Infinity Watch are not as effective, so even if you had them from the previous node, they are not as great. You can use them to remove some of the characters. Once again, you don't have to one-shot every single node. I just have OCD about it. And here we lost Strange Supreme really early. Even that we had Dormammu to revive, it was just not enough. Killmonger was looking for blood and they found it on Strange Supreme. Okay, either way, we are going to flip all those defense ups from Shuri into defense downs, and this is why the Eternals are so good here. And you can see that just with a few attacks, we got rid of them. Now, on the second wave, you can get stuck here if your team is not strong enough. So you really want to focus on getting rid of Kestrel, but you also want to stun Mary Hill. This character right here, Mary Hill, you want to stun her, otherwise all these deflects that the enemies have are going to keep healing the team, and you don't want any of that. Okay, so ultimate with Dormammu, once again, completely unnecessary. You don't need Dormammu to finish this. Eternals are fine. Infinity Watch are okay. As I mentioned, they are not as good, but you can still double tap or triple tap the node and use, for example, Infinity Watch, and then Black Order, and finally Hero Asgardians or Full Asgardians in order to destroy these. So we are done. You can see right here milestone 15, so we are almost maxed out on the milestones, and now we are going to use the Dark Hunters in order to sack the node. And this was actually a mistake. You'll see right here, this was, I was very pissed off. So this was an attempt, this was not actually an attack. But when I pressed escape, the game glitched out. You'll see the glitch right here. and then the game kept going. So even that it was on escape, even that it was paused, the game kept going because of the visual glitch effect. And I got stuck with this attempt, which was not even a good attempt. But either way, the characters that you really want to try to focus on as much as possible is going to be magic. You want to do as much damage on magic as possible, hopefully get rid of her, because she is very, very annoying. She gives more armor, she gives barrier, and she gives drain to all the X-Men characters. So if you can get rid of magic, you can see, you saw the glitch. So even that it was on pause, look how pissed off I was. This guy was so pissed off. This was the beginning of the end. I got so triggered by this. Oh my god. Yikes. I was so triggered. It was terrible. It was really, really... Look at those eyes. Those eyes, they see anger. Scopely, where are you? I'm gonna destroy you. Damn, I was very, very pissed off. But yeah, we had to go. We had to beat this node anyway. So even that we got that lame attempt, what you want to do is to get rid of magic and storm, if you can. Magic alone is the best. So focus all your efforts on magic. And then when you go with your web warriors, you want once again OG Spider-Man to get attacked early, or anyone in general, as long as they dodge and the enemies don't apply offense down to you. That's going to be the best thing that can happen, is you evading the attack from Proxima Midnight, and that will not apply offense down to you. So then it's the usual stuff. You want to apply negative effects. You want to always make sure that Colossus has a lot of vulnerabilities on him, hopefully defense down, so whenever he taunts, then you can remove the taunt easily. So apply defense down, apply offense down, extend those negative effects with the Scarlet Spider special. This is why Colossus, he has so many negative effects, because they were extended by Scarlet Spider. And then you want to spread them with the ultimate of Ghost Spider. You can see my face right here. I made a mistake once again. I used the special of Ghost Spider when it was unnecessary, and then I got stuck because I want to use the ultimate and I couldn't because I had the Scourge. Whenever you use the special, you get ability block. So that was a big problem. But what you can do right here is to do the special of Miles on Psylocke. That will stop her from removing the negative effects from the enemy team to your team. And like this, it gives you a little bit more time in order to get rid of her. Then you want to get rid of Colossus, so he stops taunting and you don't have to deal with this shit anymore. And finally, just get rid of Psylocke and Phoenix. Like when you have just these three characters, it's gonna be fine. Use the ultimate of whoever character you have available. And yeah, so even that we played very, very poorly, we were able to do this pretty well. And once again, if you want to have a little bit of an easier time, you can change the ISO weight from Scarlet Spider and Spider-Punk to healer, and that alone will make a huge difference because your characters will always be topped off. Okay, so celebration phase, there we go. 1.5 million on the difficulty 8 with 100 Scourges. Once again, this takes around 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes in order to complete. It requires a very few attempts, and especially if you invested a little bit more on your web warriors, because of the Doom 3 raids, you are going to have a very, very easy time in this Pestilence Scourge event. Once again, whether you are a veteran player and you already have Morgan Le Fay at 7 yellow, you still should do this in order to get all these juicy rewards that you can see right now on the screen. And if you are not a veteran player, and if you don't have Morgan Le Fay at 7 yellow stars, you can still use these strategies in order to get that 1.5 million points, because once again, most of the very, very competitive players are already gone off the leaderboard for the Morgan Le Fay shards. Okay guys, so that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed how to beat the Pestilence event on difficulty 8 as fast as possible without any effort. 104 Scourges, 1.5 million points, which will allow you to get all the milestone rewards. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later.